Have you ever wondered why relationships start out with so much promise
I think I got some of your pickle.
and end up with so many challenges?
Don't put your shit on me when you're the one that's afraid.
I'm afraid. What am I afraid of?
And I'm not talking about normal, everyday conflict. I'm talking about the hidden cause for many breakups. And when you understand this, you can build a stronger relationship without walking through a minefield of hidden problems that tear both of you apart. There are two big challenges that all of us face in relationships. And the second challenge is definitely more difficult to handle, but let's talk about the first one because it directly connects to the second challenge. So years ago, in the early days of my marriage, my husband and I had a heated argument over something that I don't even remember. Perhaps it was a miscommunication or about household chores, who knows? I mean, we had a blended family with 4 kids. It could have been about 1,000 things. But that argument would forever change the way that I view conflict. And it helped me to learn what I'm going to share with you today. So I was getting ready to leave for work and both of us were stuck, not able to resolve anything. So I left for work and throughout my night, my anger softened. I came home ready to work things out, but I was stunned by what I discovered when I came home. My husband was even angrier than he was when I left for work. I literally felt like he looked at me as if I had just heard a puppy. I couldn't understand how his feelings had intensified while I was at work and I softened. That's when I discovered a deep-seated challenge in relationships. My leaving for work without a goodbye had inadvertently triggered a deep sense of rejection in him, a wound from his past that both of us were unaware of. We all carry hidden hurts, and our strong reactions in arguments often stem from hurts from the past, not just the present situation, and most often without realizing the connection of past and present. And this understanding helped me understand the even bigger challenge that couples go through. And I'll explain the bigger challenge by showing you through movie clips in a minute. But with my husband, I was unknowingly the salt in a very old wound when I left for work without a goodbye. And when I learned of this painful trigger for him, from that day forward, I made a simple yet powerful commitment. I would never again leave the house without saying goodbye, regardless of any unresolved arguments. This small act became a healing gesture for him. Now, I will confess that when I get in the car, if we are in an unresolved argument, that's where I let off some steam and voice my own words of anger and frustration. But I can't say those words on YouTube. By the way, if you're finding these tips helpful, go ahead and subscribe so that you can build a stronger relationship with your partner. Now, let's dive into the even bigger challenge for couples. I call it when triggers collide. When I say triggers collide, I mean moments when both of you react not just what's happening in the present, but you are also impacted by past hurts, triggers. Again, without even realizing it. It's kind of like accidentally pressing a bruise on someone's arm. You may be touching it lightly or pressing that bruise hard, but their reaction is going to be so much more intense because of that underlying injury. Let me show you with the couple Will and Skylar from the movie Good Will Hunting.
I want you to come to California with me.
I can't go to California.
If you don't love me, you should just tell me
I'm not
because it's
saying
such
I don't love you.
You're not going. You're not leaving.
Let's watch his trigger.
California next week, and you might find out something about me you don't like, and tell me about my world. Don't tell me about my world. I mean, you just want to have your little fling with like the guy from the other side of town, then you're gonna go off to steer that.
didn't know
No,
that.
you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that I
didn't
got cigarettes put out of me when I was a little kid.
Will's reluctance to move away with Skylar wasn't about his lack of feelings for her, but about a deep-seated fear of intimacy and unworthiness due to his past abuse as a child. and he panicked at the idea of being dependent on someone. I'll say more about how he can look at that in a healthier way in a minute, but when he was hurt, when he was dependent as a child, that ignited fear in him. And Skylar, her insistence was about fear of losing him, triggering the loss of her father, and also feeling unlovable. Their intense reactions were not just about the situation at hand, but were intensified by their past traumas colliding in that moment. Her anxiety and fear of abandonment made her want to cling tightly, while he was fearful of being held close. When our triggers collide, we often end up hurting each other more. And to avoid this, the key is self-awareness and insight. When we understand our triggers, we are empowered to manage them. But without this awareness, we are likely to be reactive, just as you saw in Will and Skylar. So Will can learn the concept of healthy dependency, and he can learn to understand that while yes, pain is a part of relationships, both of them can be a part of healing and repair, which will be a new and wonderful experience for him. Just like I became a part of the healing for my husband. And Skylar can recognize Will's fear is not because of her, and it's not a rejection of her, but it is his trauma. With self-awareness, we can live in the present rather than in the past. And my mantra for triggers is it feels the same, but it is not the same. So with that mantra in mind, how are Will and Skylar's present experiences different from their past? Well, for Will, this time is different because Skylar isn't the one hurting him like his childhood abuse. Even though she tried to stop him from leaving, which likely triggered him feeling trapped, like he was trapped when he was abused, but her intention was not to hurt him, but to remain connected with him. That's how it's different. And it is different for Skylar because Will's reaction is more about his old hurts and not about abandonment of her, and has nothing to do with her being unlovable. In our understanding of our own and our partner's triggers, we can navigate our relationships with more empathy and awareness, which will prevent feeling re-traumatized. Remember, recognizing and respecting our emotional bruises can transform our interactions from hurting each other to being more a part of healing. But one more important tip: what do you do when you find yourself being triggered and the argument is about to become explosive? Well, I made a video with a new strategy to help you learn how to stop explosive arguments in their tracks. It's a good one. Check that out, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into building a stronger, more resilient relationship, and I'll see you in the next video.